So Gemini, your week beginning the 10th of November forecast begins with your ruler Mercury having gone into the last of its annual retrogrades right at the end of last week. If you recall, also last Saturday, Uranus, the planet of change and innovation, inverted out of your sign into your 12th house. And that's an intriguing combination because Mercury's retrograde is in the part of your scope to do with your connections to others. And through to the 19th of this month is going to be retracing its steps in your opposite sign. And it's not at its best in Sagittarius. But also this week, it is very, very close to Mars. And that's particularly important on Wednesday because the combination of Mercury and Mars can help you to punch across your ideas, especially if you're needing to be combative at work, in a very powerful, passionate way. But Mercury retrogrades, particularly in Sagittarius, can see us rush things, and Mars can amplify that when we may want to take a little more time to consider what we need to say. And because Uranus has gone back into a more psychological part of your chart and is challenged by Mars right at the start of this week, around a relationship matter, you could, I wouldn't say you will, but you could be a little triggered by someone who gets under your skin a little bit, and the temptation could be to push back in a very forceful way. But just know that Jupiter, the planet of philosophy, but also of fortune, goes into a retrograde on Tuesday through the next 4 months to March the 11th. And that retrograde for you is in the part of your scope to do with everyday money. Now, when people have Jupiter retrogrades in their natal chart, they tend not to be so much of the happy-go-lucky Sagittarian mode of Jupiter and very focused on material gains, and much more focused on the internal part of life. And of course, the sign of Cancer is very much about emotions. So through these next 4 months, you may consider your approach to money, your values, your self-worth, and it could be a time of great growth. But also on Wednesday, there is a quarter moon. And it's a quarter moon which could amp up that part of the week because of Mercury's conjunction to Mars, which sees you perhaps rush something or be a little impetuous. It's a 3-6 quarter moon, which provides a backdrop to the following Tuesday. And it's one that can make us feel a bit on edge because the part of the sky the sun in is about virtue, being productive and efficient. And the third house energy is a kind of flavour of your sign. It is about being very quick-witted. Again, if you rush something or try to pack in too much by the end of the week, the net result could be a little bit of stress. But despite Mercury's retrograde, which will require care around interactions with others through to the 19th of the month, whilst Mercury is still in your opposite sign, and that tendency perhaps to rush something or have quite a tense conversation at the heart of the week, by the end of the week, Jupiter's linked to the Sun in that practical 6th house, but Saturn in a very worldly part of your chart could see something manifest for you that's actually very positive around your finances, around your work, around changing some part of your life, and therefore your connections to others, the way you convey your ideas, you answer messages, you interact with people, despite Mercury's retrograde, could be a very important conduit to really season the prize that this week does offer, despite those intense, restless energies that are thrown up right at the start of the week. So it's time to slow things down a little bit, be a little bit more considered, take your time in your approach, and despite those headwinds, celestial headwinds, there is still some real opportunities for you this week. If you've yet to order your year 2026 personal horoscope, totally based on your unique birth data and 30% off, please see the link below for more.